I'm going to say this right away. This might be one of the most exciting dress watches Omega has released in years. This is the Omega Constellation Observatory, and it feels like Omega finally took the elegance of the old Constellation and gave it a technical breakthrough that it deserved. The Constellation has been connected to precision since 1952, but this new observatory collection takes that idea to another level because this is the first two-hand watch to achieve Master Chronometer certification. No seconds hand, just hours and minutes. And Omega figured out how to certify it using acoustic testing from the Laboratoire de Précision. That is awesome. You get the Pie-Pan dial, the Constellation star at 6, the dogleg lugs, the display back, O-MEGASTEEL, and the caliber 8914 with 60 hours of power reserve. So let's find out if this is the modern Constellation that brings back the magic of the old ones in the best possible way. Welcome everyone, it's Chris with the Little Treasury channel, where we bring you original and in-depth watch content at least once per week. And if you haven't already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be alerted as soon as we upload. I'm from Little Treasury Jewelers, which is located in Gambrills, Maryland, and it's where you go when you're in the know. And if you can't make it to our store, check out our cutting-edge, user-friendly website, littletreasury.com, which is linked to our inventory in real time. All watches that I review are for sale and can be purchased, so please see our website or see the description below to contact us. If you're just joining us now, I'll go over the watch's detailed measurements and features, then I'll offer my personal opinion at the end. In our last video, I reviewed the Longines Hydro Conquest two-tone quartz with the sandblasted blue dial, yellow PVD accents, 300 meters of water resistance, and the easy grab-and-go quartz movement. If you want a Hydro Conquest with a little more flash and a lot of everyday practicality, this one's worth a look. Wrist check time. Today I'm wearing my Omega No Time to Die Seamaster, which is my favorite watch in my collection. I've been experimenting with straps lately, and I really love this Erica's Originals Havana Mocha Centerline MN strap because it matches this piece almost perfectly. Now tell me which watch you're wearing while you're watching the video, and make sure to tell me why. Now let's get on to the features. My measurements for the Omega Constellation Observatory are a 38.8mm case width and 11.7mm thickness, a 46.7mm lug-to-lug, an 18.5mm lug width, a 32.6mm crystal diameter, and weighing in at 72.24 grams. The case is made from O-MEGASTEEL, which is Omega's exclusive steel alloy, and this is one of the details that makes the watch feel more special than normal stainless steel dress watches. The case has that classic Constellation shape with the dogleg lugs, polished bezels, and very elegant profile. The crown is at the 3 position with the Omega logo on the tip. It's non-screw down. The crystal is domed, beveled, scratch-resistant sapphire with anti-reflective treatment on both sides. The bezel is fixed and it's polished, and it works with the case shape to frame the dial without taking attention away from it. The dial is blue with a pie-pan shape, and this is exactly where the watch starts to feel like the real Constellation. The pie-pan design goes back to the early Constellation models, and on this version, you get 12 facets around the dial with stamped grooves. Around the outside, you have a clean minute track, even though it is a two-hand watch. The markers are faceted kite-form indices, which also pull from the vintage Constellation design. Omega can be found at the top middle portion of the dial with the Omega logo above it, and Observatory beneath in white. The hour and minute hands are Dauphine style, which gives the dial that sharp vintage dress watch look. The Constellation star can be found at the 6th position. There is no seconds hand, and there is no date window, which keeps the whole dial extremely clean and balanced. There is no loom here. This watch is all about the dial shape, the hands, the applied markers, and the clean two-hand layout. The case back is transparent sapphire, and this is another place where Omega really made the watch feel special. Through the back, you can see the caliber 8914, and the movement has a rhodium-plated rotor and bridges with Geneva waves and arabesque. The rotor also has an engraved Constellation Observatory motif, which connects the movement directly to the story of the watch. The movement is the Omega caliber 8914. It's automatic, it has a coaxial escapement, it's Master Chronometer certified, it's resistant to magnetic fields of up to 15,000 Gauss, it has a free-sprung balance with silicone balance spring, 2 barrels mounted in series, automatic winding in both directions,
It has a 60-hour power reserve and a time zone function that lets you adjust the hour hand without stopping the watch. The strap is dark blue alligator leather and it matches the dial perfectly. The lug width is 19 millimeters and the strap keeps the whole watch feeling refined instead of turning it into a sport watch. The Omega Constellation Observatory is 30-meter water resistant and currently lists for $10,900. Now for my personal opinion. So I'm going to start off by saying I absolutely love what Omega did here. This is the kind of release that reminds me why Omega is so interesting as a brand. They did not just make another blue dress watch. They took the Constellation, which already has one of the strongest precision stories in their catalog, and then they gave it a real modern technical achievement. The two-hand master chronometer thing is genuinely cool. At first, you might look at it and say, okay, it only has hours and minutes. Wow, two hands, who cares? But that is the whole point. Omega made the watch simpler on the dial and more complicated behind the scenes. They had to change how the watch is tested, and that makes this feel like more than just a pretty object. It actually makes sense. The dial is beautiful too. The pie pan shape, the groove facets, the dolphin hands, and the little constellation star, the 6, all feel like kind of a vintage inspiration. It does not look like a costume watch. It looks like Omega took the soul of an old constellation and they cleaned it up for today. On my 6.5-inch wrist, this is right in the sweet spot, and it really is absolutely wearable. It is elegant, but it does not feel tiny or fragile, and it's reasonably thin as well. It should definitely fit under any cuff easily. I also really like the decision to use OMEGASTEEL. It gives the watch a more premium identity than just normal steel. It's surprising since the last time we saw OMEGASTEEL, it was in the Ultra Deep, and this definitely gives it a more premium identity than the normal steel constellation, and it makes this reference feel like the right entry point into the Observatory collection. You get the new movement, the new certification story, the display back, and the blue dial without jumping into precious metal pricing. This is honestly the kind of Omega that I do get excited about. It's elegant, it's historically connected, it is technically impressive, and it's different from what everyone else is doing. So it is not trying to be a moon watch. It's not trying to be a Seamaster. It's a Constellation. And I think that's why it works so well. Omega is trying to give their whole lineup another winner. And I recommend this for someone who loves vintage Omega, someone who wants a dress watch with real technical substance, or someone who wants an Omega that feels quieter than the sports models, but is just as satisfying and interesting. This is not loud, it's not oversized, it's not trying too hard. But the more you understand what Omega did with this watch, the cooler it becomes. For me, this is a very special release. It brings back the elegance of the Constellation and adds a real precision breakthrough and gives Omega a dress watch that collectors should be genuinely excited about.
Thanks for watching today, everyone. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you did, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share with all of your friends and your family members too. I look forward to seeing you next video.